Welcome back, LJL fans. I'm joined by two brand new faces for our very exciting and very important Game 3 of Day 1 in spring. I'm joined by Random Minion Caster and Echo
Glad to be
KO.
here.
Going on? What's going on?
What's going on? Some of our more American casters for this game as we are moving through the time zones across the world. Truly LJL worldwide, this split. Gentlemen, we have got Fukuoka SoftBank HAWKS Gaming with a brand new hyper roster, like calling this a super team from different places might be an understatement, across from a brand new AXIZ, only Megumin in the mid lane, remaining from a pretty surprising third place finish in the previous summer split, almost taking it to DFM, almost taking it to the Rascal Jesters. We're going to come to you first, Random Minion Caster. I want to hear what you're most excited about for this matchup.
Well, I mean, you mentioned it, right? The fact that SoftBank HAWKS, they're the super team. So obviously you got to be excited about that. And the reason why they're looking like super team here is because of not just the people they brought in, but the person they retained. 80% change on this roster, and they kept Dasher. Dasher, who looked incredibly solid, just would not die last split. And then you surround him with people like Kinatsu, who can carry in that top lane. Blank coming in from the LCK, former world champion. And the bot lane, Marble and Reina here. Marble being, I think, one of the biggest driving forces for V3 Academy's undefeated performance. And I've heard that Marble wanted to play with Reina for the longest time, which is why they're now together here. So if this is a bot lane that wants to be together, was willing to move here to play together, I have big expectations of them.
And we're going to go over to you next, Echo. We've heard about the excitement around this SoftBank HAWKS gaming roster. It's cool if that's the thing you're looking for most to as well. But a quick rundown, what are your immediate feelings?
Honestly, I'm going to go with the other side of the coin, right? When I'm looking over at AXIZ, it's really going to come down to, right, as we said before, Megumin is the only surviving member, right, of this AXIZ roster who had an amazing turnaround between the spring to summer kind of split. So it's going to be interesting to see now with an entire new roster, people like Yellow Yoshi, for example, who, for anyone who's seen him on Twitch, I mean, the self-proclaimed Poppy God himself, right? And he's pretty cracked with it. You've got Swamp as well, previous LCK Academy. You've got, who else? Yeah, Sangchu and Dicey in the bot lane. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see kind of, especially as the weeks go on, we might have to wait and see, but how the synergy between these new team members kind of unfolds, and if maybe we see them kind of rise to the top.
I hope to see both of these teams challenge. I think neither a quick shoe-in for bottom of the table, unless AXIZ completely crumbles. What I do want to sort of talk about first and go to quickly, both teams have a member of the bot lane from an LJL Academy. We've heard the rumors of how good Marble is. We've saw them perform in Academy. Dicey, previously on AXIZ Academy, now promoted to the main roster. Who do you think has the greater expectation to perform today? We're going to go to Random Minion Caster first.
I think the easy answer is going to be that the high expectation is, of course, on Marble, right? Because that is the winning Academy team. So you're expected to perform to a higher level, not to mention you are on the super team. But I'm actually kind of curious about Dicey as well. I'm not as familiar with the AXIZ Academy team. So when you bring somebody up who's unknown, you know, how do they fit in? And this is not a support who's had a chance to work with Sangchu before. Marble and Reina were at least in the same organization, so I expect that they know of each other. Whereas Sangchu and Dicey, complete strangers here.
The expectation of results on Marble, but the expectation to appear on Dicey. Gentlemen, it's been great getting to know you over the past week through various meetings. I'm so excited to see your first cast on the LJL. With that, Fukuoka SoftBank HAWKS Gaming will take on AXIZ in Game 3 of Day 1. We're going into the pick and ban phase. I hope it's as exciting for the SoftBank HAWKS side as we have seen in the pre-show. Good luck, and I hope it's a fantastic game.
Thank you, man. What a guy, that Temporal, huh? What a guy, honestly. Just, I mean, what a lad. But, I mean, let's get right into it. Okay, let's see. Phase 1, so some of the bans already did coming out from the HAWKS. Jenna and Karma. Okay, how we feeling about that one? Ooh, and
That's
Zeri
interesting.
too.
Yeah, so the Janna and Karma here might not actually be support bans. It could be that sort of solo lane support that we've come to dread and fear. At least I dread and fear here coming through. They're not necessarily supports that we've seen Dicey play a ton of. Dicey playing mostly engaged supports like the Rakan, the Leona, Alistair. So that tells me that maybe Yellow Yoshi's been streaming and practicing some of those supports himself.
I feel that. And then there's that Tryndamere ban. I wonder maybe they watched the detonation game and they were like, get him out of here. We don't want him here.
Yeah, but it is patch 12.2 Echo. So unfortunately, Corki still hasn't been nerfed right now, and that did get through the pick bans right here. Will be picked up first. The other things we often see a lot of focus on are the AD carries, but with Jinx and Aphelios up, SoftBank HAWKS didn't have to focus that role right away.
They did not, and I mean, yeah, come on, they got to get this nerf out of here, man. I'm tired of seeing my Corkis in this game. Okay, they do that's too much damage.
It's coming.
Tired. Oh no, okay. Now something that we're not going to be as surprised to see coming out from AXIZ, though, we do have the Xin Zhao pick. Gotta say, not too surprised on that one. How you feel about that one, though?
Yeah, it's been something we've seen in every game so far. And there you go. That's the supporters expecting from Dicey. And a bit of a change-up coming through, honestly. We've not seen the supports really pick that far up unless it was something like the Thresh here. And AXIZ, it looks like they're happy to let the AD carry continue slipping down in priority here. They're willing to give SoftBank HAWKS their pick of the litter. And looks like SoftBank HAWKS, they're not going for the Jinx. They prefer the Aphelios.
Okay. Going to be interesting to see, as we were talking before, right? Marble got a lot of weight on his shoulders. If you're part of the so-called super team, then you need to be performing. So I'm going to be curious to see how well he can perform on the Aphelios pick. Well, so that leaves kind of up to question, right? Will they be giving the Jinx over into the hands of Sangchu, who we know that plays him quite a bit, or are we going to maybe see something else coming out from him?
Yeah, I mean, Sangchu's most played champion last year in summer was the Aphelios, and that's been off the table. Jinx was the second most played. It's the Jinx meta right now. It just seems to fit so perfectly. We do see the J4 being picked up, though, by SoftBank HAWKS as an answer to the Xin Zhao here. A very strong ganking jungler to come through, and they're still going with the immobile AD carry. They're saying, you know what, we trust in Dicey to be able to peel and protect.
Absolutely. In Dicey, we trust, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. And Sangchu will most likely be piloting that Jinx. And I mean, for good reason. Listen, Lethal Tempo Jinx, man, the range you get from that is just absolutely insane. Once you get that full stack, right, if you're using the rocket launcher, you cannot be touched. You can be chilling under your turret and you're sending out autos into like the mid lane at that point.
Yeah, I mean, Corki can still reach you with missiles, but definitely a much harder task now as we head into the second round of picks and bans here. Echo SoftBank HAWKS, pardon me, are still looking for their support and top laner. Yeah, it is. And AXIZ here, they're looking for the solo laners both. They are taking away the Thresh right away, and I like that because, first of all, it enables the Aphelios, and second of all, it counters the Leona. But if we are trying to peel away those supports, Braum is the other one we often see with the Aphelios. We've seen the Tahm Kench rise in priority here in the LJL, but I still think the Braum is more dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Braum is just, I mean, he's nasty. He's nasty. He's like a Tahm. He does the same kind of job as a Tahm Kench for a lot of these ADCs, but in some aspects, I dare say even better. And yeah, I mean, there we go. The ban's coming out. They don't want him on the playing field either. What more can you do? They're like, you know what? We're not letting Lena get any of these picks that he's kind of looking for. And so maybe try and bring him out of his comfort zone. I'm curious to see maybe we get like a Nautilus out of him or maybe a Rel, but I mean, only time really is going to tell.
Yeah, I mean, if you're still looking at defensive picks, the Rel, I think, is up there. But hey, Tahm Kench is still there, right? And we've seen so much of it today already. I've not been a huge fan of the Tahm Kench support, but it is a great defensive pickup. Now, the final ban from the HAWKS coming through, and they're actually going to ban out the Bard here. And I've got massive question marks because we already saw the Karma, the Janna. Bard is another one of those supports that can actually solo lane. This wouldn't be the Smite style solo lane support. It wouldn't usually be an aggressive lane style support because Bard base damages are really high and they keep targeting this to come through. But Yellow Yoshi's a Poppy player. It just feels so weird to me that we're picking on supports right now.
Yeah, for real. It's like literally the Poppy pick is open and someone like Yellow Yoshi, who I need to, I can't say this enough. Self-proclaimed. I mean, I've seen clips of this man in the top lane going, "I'm the best Poppy out there," right? Who's getting these solo kills, and they just don't ban it. Like, what are you doing? And instead, they banned the Bard. Which, I mean, listen, as a bit of a Bard, Kraken Slayer dabbler myself, I was forced to do it, but it is dangerous. Still, you got to be banning some of these picks more like Poppy out here. And we do see they are gonna respond with the Akali. Okay.
Oh, okay. I am not sure I like this pick just yet here. I understand that they're looking for ways to try and assassinate that Jinx here, but keep in mind, this is patch 12.2. Akali, Chemtech Akali specifically, did get nerfed a little bit on this patch, so
Thank
it's
God
not
for that.
true. So it's not quite the angle here, and Poppy is great at stopping these engages, and AXIZ, they're doubling down on this Sangshu carry here. You pick a Poppy, which is already going to deny a lot of these engages, the flag and drag, even the Cataclysm is going to bounce, Akali can't get in, and then you throw a Vex on top of that as well. SoftBank Hawks are going to struggle to try and find engage assassination threats. They're going to have to rely a lot more on Dasher and Marble just outputting that damage front to back.
Oh yeah, and I mean, it's really just gonna come down to here AXIZ, right? There's a lot. The thing is, you have these kind of teams like AXIZ, Burning Core, right? V3, who I like to kind of say, you know, arguably are some of the more lower tier teams. So you have nothing to lose, everything to prove, right? And so now that you have this completely new lineup on the side of AXIZ, it's even more prevalent that you just have everything to prove and kind of seeing how they're going to play together. And they have some really strong picks coming out, like we were talking about, right? You got Yellow Yoshi on his literal main. You've got Swamp out here on the Xin Zhao, who is just so prevalent in Pro League, understandably so, because I mean, it's just disgusting champ, right? So it's really going to be interesting to see how they pilot the champs and if they can just come through and they can end up winning the game.
Yeah, and it's worth noting as well for AXIZ here, the Jinx pick, while AXIZ has changed up a lot of their roster, back when Honey was on AXIZ here, the Jinx was one of the sort of signature picks, one of the big champions that helped carry them through, and it feels like Sangshu has inherited that mantle here. They're still gonna try and play that way, you know, with that really solid front line with all that PO, because you look at it, right? Poppy, Xin Zhao, Leona, all great big meaty tanks which can soak up the damage up front. The Poppy already mentioned with the great, I don't want to call it peel because it's more of just a barrier to entry, right? With that steadfast presence there, and Vex doing the similar thing. So this really is going to be the Sangshu show here for AXIZ. And on the other hand, the Hawks, a bit more split here. I'm just not sure what Kinatsu is going to be able to find into the entirety of this team here. And while Marble and Dasher, sure, you've got a lot of front to back damage, your team fighting is not going to be as reliable as that Jinx. The Rockets are just going to hit more people harder.
Yeah, absolutely. And also with such an immobile ADC as a Philios, right, being paired up with the likes of Nahles, who are normally you would like to see kind of like a Thresh, right? They can get them, throw those lanterns, get them out of sticky situations. It's going to definitely also be very, not scary, but it's going to really come down to kind of the piloting abilities of our boy and if he can stay out of harm's way. But with that, we're on the Rift, and really there's only one way to find out how they will perform, and that's just seeing the game play itself out.
Yeah, and right away as we get in here, we're looking at the items. Yeah, you can see the hover here, and that's a support Poppy from Yellow Yoshi. So yes, all of those support bans were targeted at Yellow Yoshi here. I'm pretty sure he was known as a regular Poppy player, not this funnel style strategy. We'll have to see how it works. And Kinatsu as well coming in with the call right away, looking to, you know, just try and farm up the lane. So top side already not looking that it's going to be particularly interactive to start.
Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around like the thought process behind this. But hey, you know what? Maybe there's some big brain pro league strat that my little tiny brain can't comprehend, and we'll have to wait and see. But it's gonna be. That's all I can really say. Is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, interesting is one way to put it. Here I'll reserve judgment till I see how this top lane goes, because I really felt like, you know, a support item for Yellow Yoshi here is quite excessive for the most part. But top laners aside, I want to look a little bit at the jungle here, Echo, because we're looking at blank for Soft. for the SoftBank Hawks here, and that is a massive name, a world champion player on this J4, and he's full clearing the top side, it looks like. So he's trying to rush down to this bot, get some action here. And I'm looking at Swamp. Swamp started the same way, so they're likely to meet at the bot side if they're both looking to full clear the jungles.
Yeah, and I mean, understandably so, right? You've got some big names here on the side of the Hawks, so it's like this bot lane is really the only lane where we don't really know kind of how it's going to play out, and so one might even say it's kind of AXIZ's like main chance for survival here if they want to win this game. So it's understandably so that the side of AXIZ want to send their jungler down and get Sangchu ahead, while the side of Hawks is like, yo, come down here, we shut Sangchu down, and then we win every other lane.
Yeah, and we didn't even touch too much on the fact that the Nautilus-Leona matchup can get pretty volatile. You're both sort of engaged style champions. So if one of them can get a lead, that's going to be the side that's going to constantly keep pressuring. An early base by Yellow Yoshi here. This is not a cheater recall. He's losing massive waves for this roam. But I guess that's how you play the support style Poppy. You just start roaming early and sack the waves here. I have not really seen this before, Echo, and I'm curious to see if it works or not.
Yeah, for real. It's definitely. I haven't seen this either. I might have to start utilizing this myself to the dismay of my teammates, but I'll just have to be like, trust, guys. I've seen this work before in Pro League. I can do it too, I swear. But we will have to see if it works out. So already, okay. So actually, Blank going in with perhaps the recalls. He can't really make up his mind if he wants to stay or not. But it's looking like he will be staying after on. Yeah, Yellow Yoshi's just chilling in mid lane, just helping out with the farm in here, looking to get Megumin ahead, and so he can just push this tower and get some of these plating. Oh, never mind. Actually, they're going to do a double roam to this bot lane. It's about to get more than just volatile in this bot lane, I have a feeling. Something's brewing in the air, and I can feel it, man. It's getting dangerous.
TP. I mean, Dasher has TP as well, so they can defend against this here if they know it's coming.
We're about to see maybe just a 3v5 all in minute 4 under the tower. This would be interesting, but maybe not. They're like, you know what? We're not going to risk anything just yet. No one's really been poked down, so there's really no point. And speaking of that top lane, once again, Kinatsu has just been picking up so much free farm. Mostly going to pick up this first plating as well. So got to be careful. You don't want to see Kinatsu getting this far ahead.
Yeah, and this roam from Yellow Yoshi really isn't working out. Granted, with the support item, the shoulder guards there, you do actually need to be near people to last hit to get the full benefit of that support item. So I understand the roaming there, but it's not just about the gold. You're losing experience. Yellow Yoshi is level 3. Kinatsu is level 5 right now. This is not what you want to be seeing. I like the adaptation. The gank bot didn't work. We'll take Dragon instead. But the gank bot was never going to work with double TP available for the Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely keeping me on my toes, Ray. I'm not going to lie. Being at like 5 a.m., I'm trying to wake up, right? So they're definitely bringing out some plays that I wouldn't expect. I'm not just autopiloting like, yep, in the top lane, farming, yep, in the mid lane, trading. So, I mean, I got to thank Yellow Yoshi for that. But I hope that this doesn't come back to bite them later down the road.
I'm just hoping that it comes back at all, because Yellow Yoshi is still not going back to lane. He's still sitting on the bot side of the map. Kinatsu must be losing his mind right now. Like, what? I get to free farm with Cull in the top lane? Literally, I am just playing against a turret right now. And for the Hawks, they're okay with it. Yellow Yoshi can roam around the jungle all you want. Blank is still picking up the jungle right now. They're just tracking where this Poppy is. And the support Poppy is literally the same level as the supports in the game. Both Dicey and Lena, level 4 right now, are more than happy to keep soaking this pressure. Marble has done a great job continuing to see us.
Indeed, put that 3-man over the wall now. Looking okay. Flash in, it played in. Oh, the ulti's gonna miss. TP coming down, but first blood. Okay, Yellow Yoshi gonna pick up that first blood though. But ignited. Gatling gun doing a lot of damage. Not quite enough though. Gonna get out. Mike, can he get out of this one though? He might just do it. Oh, they're gonna get that first one. Yellow Yoshi takes so much. Will eventually, finally go down. His reign is over. Double kill going into the hands of Marbles. Oh my god. Okay, explosive little first battle there, and already 3-2. Things are definitely getting interesting. Listen, man, Yellow Yoshi will not be held down, but you know, I'll get to that later. Let's get to that replay first.
So this feels a bit like a sunk cost fallacy, Echo, because AXIZ felt like we spent so much time here. We've got to make the play happen regardless. And you're between two turrets. You know the TPs come through. Great. You get the initial kill. That's good. But what's your exit strategy? You don't have one. Nope. As it stands, because Dasher kind of split focus from everyone else and went into the rest of the team, Dash ended up going down. If not, this could very well have been a 1-for-3. And even as things stand, look at the kill distribution that came across. AXIZ gets the kill on Yellow Yoshi on a Poppy who really doesn't want gold. You're a support. Swamp, that's fine. But SoftBank HAWKS, they get perfect distribution. 1 on the Assassin, 2 on your AD carry here. You're sitting nice and happy.
Absolutely. I mean, it was just I don't even feel like we kind of touched on just the 3-man stun coming out from Marbles, right, with the purple gun. That was huge. That allowed just the side of HAWKS to get in there, do a lot of damage, and especially with Yellow Yoshi, who was so low already, able to get the ignite out on him and then just take him out from there. But like I would say, yeah, Yellow Yoshi, we just not seen him as top. This man will not be held down by trivial words such as top laner. No. He is everywhere on the map, and it's looking like the full team roam here to pick up the Rift Herald, which has just gone live. They will waste no time to grab it. They really just have the full team here. I mean, okay, coming from like just some normal casual play, there is no universe where you see the whole team roaming up 8 minutes just to secure a Herald here, and they're looking to secure a whole lot more, baby, because they're going to go ahead and take out Lena. And just like that, Blank is incredibly low, going to be taken out as well by Megumin. Very nice. Kinatu needs to get out of there, going to drop the Shroud, but he is seen. It's just barely going to get out of that one alive. Dasher can't do a lot, just trying to get some poke damage, but it simply won't be enough. And that should be a free Herald for the side of AXIZ.
This is absolutely massive, Echo, because the Herald should have belonged to AXIZ regardless. They are running double smite here. Kinatu, can they find anything on the back end?
Might just belong to them as well. A very nice shielding out here. Gonna stun Dicey. Kinatu is gonna have to ult over that wall to get out of that one. Yellow Yoshi just defying death. So close to dying, but is able to cancel the dash. Very nicely done. What were you saying? I'm sorry for cutting you off there, man. Let's get that replay going.
It's all good. I mean, the action's got to happen. So let's touch a little bit on what happens here first. So it's the fact that AXIZ is just moving together as 5. They have a level disadvantage. They have an item disadvantage. So they really shouldn't be winning this fight whatsoever. But you saw that, unfortunately, for the side of the HAWKS, they came in split. It was a 2-3 split, not even a 4-1 split there. So the problem is whoever goes in first dies first, and AXIZ being grouped up, they just keep moving as a mob, as a ball. They find the picks, and then they get the kills, which they shouldn't have gotten. They get the Herald, which they should have gotten. And Kinatu trying to find things in the back end. This was my concern about the Akali pick into the Vex and the Poppy. There's just no good way in, and this is before the Poppy is even level 6. And with this, AXIZ are still behind from all their early game focus on the bot side, but they're closer now. And with that Herald, that gold lead is only about 1,000 gold apart.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and also that's such a big hit to the mental probably as well for Kinatu. It's like you've been just chilling up in that top lane, right? You've been farming up. You're looking at levels. You're like, what? He's already 3 levels ahead of Yellow Yoshi. You try to go for that all in on him. You just get shut down, like absolutely by the steadfast presence. There's just nothing you can do. You're like, damn. Did I just overestimate myself? Like, what's going on here? The level 5 Poppy is still like holding contention with me. Like, what is going on here? And speaking of contention, it's looking like there will be no contest here for the second dragon that is going to be going into the hands of AXIZ. Once again, it is so... honestly, it's so nice to see kind of this full team movement on all of these OBJs, right? This is something I was saying before, you never see kind of in casual. So it's just, it's always good to see like AXIZ really roaming as a group. They realize that even though they are slightly ahead, right? You got the 2-0 Aphelios, and you do have that 1 kill on the Akali as well. This game could very easily kind of flip into the hands of HAWKS if they're not careful.
Yeah, and AXIZ is on a timer right now. I love what they're doing. All the early objectives belong to them because, as we mentioned, double smite, right? It's so difficult for Black to try and steal anything.
Yeah.
But the follow-up, the subsequent rotations here, they know that they've burnt the teleports from the first gank bot side. It's not available. So this time when they rotate S5, Marble, Lena, Blank, they just have to walk away. You can't defend this. And with the Herald helping as well, it's going to be first turret as well as a big chunk on the inner turret.
Yeah, absolutely. Now looking to maybe get something here on Dasher. Nah, Yellow Yoshi not gonna get anything. A lot of poke damage already coming out from Dasher there. Gotta be careful. Unfortunately, Riftel not gonna be able to crash into that second turret. They are gonna take it down, and Kinatu is gonna go ahead and take out this tier 1 in the top lane, get some more gold in his pocket. He's probably feeling real good. Gonna go ahead and hit that back. Things are, it's only gonna go uphill from here, really. It's just gonna get more and more interesting as time progresses. Finally, we do see that Yellow Yoshi has hit level 6. Only took him 12 minutes. He's only like 3 levels behind his other top laner. But hey, I mean, he's still been making plays. He's been there where his team needs him, and really at the end of the day, as long as you get the win, nothing else matters.
True. He's got his ult. He's got the utility. That's all he needs. Now, Echo, when we first loaded into the game and we saw the Smite support Poppy, you said it was interesting. And I told you, well, I'll reserve judgment till we see a little bit more. And after having seen what we've seen, I like what AXIZ is trying to do. It's not working out perfectly, but they're trying. And you know what? I will give it a pass. More than interesting. It's even, dare I say it, fun so far, but they are running out of time. And I am concerned now. The play bot cost them nearly 2 turrets, and they're still looking. That's Dicey burning a big ultimate that they could use for a team fight, and now they're grouping up top. I think the Hawks can look to try and contest this 5v5.
Indeed. Wind Become Lightning did connect with Blank, but I don't think Swap's that suicidal to go into that one. So they're just gonna go ahead and just try at least to take out this top turret. As you said before, Dicey did pop that huge ultimate. They were looking for that opening, but unfortunately just not able to follow up, especially with it being the likes of Blank and Lina as well, just 2 of the most tanky members on the side of the Hawks. And Dasher just gonna be chilling. He's like, yeah, y'all do your thing. Just let me know if someone's missing. I'm gonna get this turret. Kinatsu, same kind of idea, right? He's like, hey, I'll get this bot turret. Let's just, we're gonna trade these objectives. We can let the side of AXIZ roam together as a team while we split push and take these OBJs on either side of the map.
And this is just a question of efficiency at this point, Echo. The fact that AXIZ has to move all 5 people to take a turret, and SoftBank Hawks are like, okay, we'll send 3 to just make sure that you don't take this too quickly. Dasher can solo the mid lane, get even more plates, and Kinatsu can take another turret. Look at the turret score. It's 2-2. For all of AXIZ's brute force methods right now, they are not ahead in terms of turrets and gold. Their only big advantage right now is that dragon stacking. I meant it when I said that SoftBank Hawks can look to 5v5, try and check to see how strong AXIZ is right now. That doesn't change. In about a minute and a half when that Mountain Drake comes up, I fully expect the Hawks to start looking for that fight, looking to leverage that 4-level lead that Kinatsu has.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, with the Mountain Soul as well, can you imagine that in the hands of someone like, let's say, Kinatsu already grabbing that Turbo Chem Tank? You've got our boy Blank chilling on the J4. That would be huge for them. So it's like you said, there's no way we're going to be seeing them kind of just passively letting the side of AXIZ take the dragon while they kind of split and go for these side objectives. And already, I mean, they're looking for these openings. They are bloodthirsty, the side of the Hawks. They want to find that opening to start getting those kills, start getting ahead. And I mean, we see they are not afraid to make moves. They even roam as a 3-man when they know that the side of AXIZ likes to roam together as an entirety of a team. But they're like, that's fine. We are just confident in our ability. We're going to have Kinatsu still split pushing in that bot lane. Finally going to go ahead and hit that back, while Swamp is grabbing the second Rift Tail here. Oh, Super Mega Death Rocket does come out to stop the back there. So maybe they're going to try and look for some kind of engagement. It should be interesting to see.
Yeah, I like that rocket coming out there because it takes roughly about 30 seconds to get from base to one of the major objectives on the map there. And they are trying to set up for the mountain here. So if Kinatsu bases now, there's a good chance that teleport will be needed to get to the fight right away. And with the Herald pickup as well, AXIZ is trying to apply all the pressure they can to get priority. But you know what? It's not that big a deal. Herald already taken down. Yes, you've got first movers advantage, but can you hold the position here?
Yeah, exactly. Kinatsu, as we said before, right, Kinatsu going to be a bit late to the party. There's that TP coming out into that backline. Question is, will AXIZ know? But it doesn't matter because they're looking to go in Shadow Surge onto Lena. Is going to go gold. Same will Dicey, but so much damage coming on Lena. Going to go down. Oh my god, they will get him in return though. A lot of damage coming out. Another Shadow Surge. Very nicely done. Can he hit the third? No. The flash coming out from Dasher is going to dash away, dare I say, from the Shadow Surge. So in total, they will go 1 for 2. That's a very good fight from the side of AXIZ.
Yeah, and the more I see this Poppy Vex combo, the more I'm loving it here, Echo. The way they just denying Kinatsu access. Kinatsu's flank was textbook from an Akali. That's what every Akali player dreams of getting. And then the dream becomes a nightmare when you realize that you can't come in from the front, you can't come in from the back. There is no good angle. They are guarded both ways. And in that fight, Sangshu basically got to free fire a lot. And perfect. We get replay timing here, and I want to highlight once again Yoshi's positioning and how they deny Kinatsu's engage, and then Megumin just kind of gets to play the front really well here. So Kinatsu looking to come in, and is it yellow Yoshi? Yeah, there you go. The steadfast person, just the edge of it, denies it away, and then suddenly it's like your backline's exposed. Marble, Dasher, your squishies, they're just free fodder for Megumin.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like that, like we said, the steadfast presence, and then as well hitting our boy Kinatsu here with Keeper's Verdict as well, just launching him way back. He's like, listen, man, you don't belong here. Go back to the jungle. We're having a fight here. The adults are talking right now, and they just send him away. They throw him out of there, and there's just nothing that Kinazu can do because, like you said, right, it's that textbook kind of TP into the backline, Akali play, and nothing comes out of it. And so you kind of sit there and wonder, damn, I'm 4 levels ahead, and it feels like I'm the one who's like down 6 levels, and I can't do anything. So it's gonna be interesting to see how AXIZ can kind of run this look moving forward.
Yeah, and at this point, Kinazu might almost just want to build a hull breaker at this point because you're just going to split push all game long, right? Like, there's no point you showing up to the fights. These are not 5v5s. These are 4v5s or 5v4s constantly from the side of AXIZ. And then by the time Kinazu comes in, somebody's already dead from the team. And it's not going to get easier. It's not going to get better. Vex scales up. The burst is going to get even nastier coming through from Megumin here. And Sangchu's Jinx, same thing. We saw how quickly Reina just got absolutely shredded in that last fight. You tried to engage the Nautilus, you were dead by the time your CC was over. So that's going to continue scaling as well. So either Kinazu commits fully to the split push here, or Kinazu start getting real creative about how they're trying to enter these fights. The front doesn't work, the back doesn't work. You got to find a side door, and I don't know how you're going to find that right now.
Yeah, it's locked. You need to look for the key right now, because if you don't find it soon, things aren't going to be looking pretty for you in the long run here. Already just looking at some of the items here now. Obviously, you know, no surprise there that we've got Sangchu picking up the Kraken Slayer and looking to build rapid fire cannon as well. Going to get that extra poke, that extra sustained damage that they just can't really get coming out from Marbles at the moment, which might just lead to their downfall if they're not careful. Maybe going to try and catch out Dicey here, who is alone, but that turret, that tier 1 is still standing. So Dicey, not too worried, is incredibly tanky, should be able to sustain most things. But look at that, you just got the 4-man. Once again, HAWKS realizing, okay, maybe we need to have the whole team kind of here. We can't be taking these 4v5s. They know that AXIZ likes to roam as a 5-man no matter where they go. Hell, even if even if Swamp was out to go get a Gromp, you'd have the whole team kind of watching like, you got this. We believe in you.
Pretty much right now. And you know what? I think it's the right call, because if you're alone, Kinazu can try and pick you off, right? We keep highlighting the level difference between Yellow Yoshi and Kinazu, but it's gone to the point where Kinazu's higher level than everybody except for Megumin right now, who's level 12, able to match. So even Swamp has to be careful if you're roaming alone in your jungle against this Akali with the Ignite as well. Cuts your healing, cuts the Gore Drinker to come through. Now, we did just see AXIZ take the mid lane turret. This is their second turret of the game as well, or actually third turret of the game. And that's good to see, because AXIZ needs to continue matching this pressure. We've already said before, Kinazu can look to split push and AXIZ can't answer. So the other way you answer is every time you lose a turret in the side lane to the split push, you group up, you siege, you force an objective, you force a turret elsewhere.
Absolutely. And speaking of forcing objectives, Baron is up, so I'm curious to see if maybe we see another AXIZ kind of full man roam up to secure that. But at the moment, it's not looking like we're going to get any of that. We just got Yellow Yoshi clearing out some vision in this bot side here. Once again, Kinazu on the little bit of a split push adventure, waiting for the call of action to kind of get in there to support the rest of his team. And it's looking like HAWKS looking to try and find something here. Yellow Yoshi getting some intel for his team, letting them know where the side of HAWKS is looking to head. And I believe Dragon is almost up as well. I think only about a minute left on it. I may be wrong with that, though. I'm waiting for that timer there. It's still telling us, yes, we get it. Baron is live. Thank you. Come on. I want to know when the Drag's up, please. Because you need to remember, this is sole point for the side of AXIZ here. So this will be huge. There will guaranteed be a fight for this Dragon, a skirmish. And already Kinazu realizing, okay, that TPing to the backline didn't work. What if instead I come from up top, right? What if I'm already there before the action starts? Because he's running out of options here, right? You can't come from the back. You can't come from the front. And a huge Cataclysm going in, locking out a large amount of the team. Swamp, so much healing coming out from the Gore Drinker. Shadow Surge, a lot of damage coming out. Sangchu picking up 1. Oh my god, a double kill, a triple kill, and they just almost get the ace. There's so much damage coming out from Sangchu and Megumin. Hell, if I didn't know better, I would say that these guys have been playing together since day 1, since they went to preschool together, because they are looking flawless right now.
Yeah, I mean, the SoftBank HAWKS are supposed to be the super team, but AXIZ right now with this support Poppy, Smite Poppy pick, it's really working out. And, you know, we're saying we want to see Dragon timers. Turns out the Observer knew all along. It's all scripted. Dragon didn't matter. It was all about the Baron. And when we watch this engage as well, Kinazu waited things out. Blank's engage, really solid. They're waiting for the sit fast presence to go down before Kinazu can really look to engage. Oh, he actually did pull the trigger early and it bounced. That's the problem. And because it bounced early, he couldn't really get the full damage off, couldn't kill anybody. And once again, the 5v4 happens with AXIZ just rolling over the rest of the Hawks before Konatsu can really get in there.
Yeah, and like you said, right, that the side of Hawks is kind of like on a timer. We said that Megumin's damage is only going to go up from here. Same with Sanctu's, and we saw it there as well. There's a reason that the two of them got all of these kills, right? Megumin's damage from the Shadow Surge was huge. Just every time they get that reset, goes in so much burst damage coming out, so much sustained damage coming out from Sanctu with the rockets that we saw. I mean, you were popping not in a universe where you just pop Nautilus with like a single Q, you know something's going down, something is not right, or it's just incredibly ahead. And in this case, Sanctu is just incredibly ahead.
Yeah, and it actually boggles my mind that right after that fight that we saw, before AXIZ took Baron, they were only 1k gold up, despite the fact that they're up this many kills right now. It's Baron that's now causing this gold lead to grow. And that means AXIZ was picking fights at even or behind. Now that they're starting to get ahead, this is the problem for the Hawks. Where do you even look to try and get back in the game? If you're looking to poke, Dasher's not been allowed to poke, and he's the only real poke that the Hawks have. If you're looking to engage, well, we've seen time and time again that doesn't get to happen. And now, even if you try and split push, I know I said that as a potential win con before, but before, you could hold under a turret 4v5. Now, I'm not so sure. I think if Konatsu's off split pushing, AXIZ might just decide to pull the trigger and dive a turret.
Yeah, and also, it's just now hitting me, right? I'm actually looking at the items here, and I'm seeing that Yellow Yoshi picked up the locket, which would which allow intern Dicey to pick up the, is it Evershroud? I believe it's called Evershroud. Am I wrong there? I may be wrong there.
Yes, the Even Shroud is.
Yeah, the Even Shroud. There we go. Yeah. The Even Shroud. Yeah, which allows the entirety of his team to do so much more damage, which in turn enables, once again, Megumin and Sanctu to do even more damage than they're already doing. Like, there is not a universe where this should be working, but it is working so well. And I gotta say, it is nice to see. Now, I will say, Hawks was able to at least secure that dragon, right? They're able to buy themselves a bit more time. We do see that Baron buff is about to run out, 20 more seconds on the clock. Not gonna get that much siege potential out of it. They were able to get that bot tier 2 out of that, and looking to do a little bit of damage here on the mid tier 2, but I don't think they're really gonna get much out of it, unfortunately. But it is still huge when it comes to kind of setting that mental precedent that you cannot contest this. You cannot step foot into our turf here, because every time you do, it's going to be a 4v5, because we're just going to be sending Konatsu to Kingdom Come, and then we just got the Shadow Surge coming up from Megumin, and it's over before it began.
Yeah, and now AXIZ gets to go back and spend gold as well. And I'm starting to look at the item discrepancy here. Marble sitting on 2 completed items. Sanctu, 3 completed items to come through. Megumin also picking up a stopwatch here. So there's multiple stopwatches coming through from AXIZ, as if their team fighting wasn't scary enough. And you said, yeah, sure. Anytime AXIZ threatens to try and siege something, Hawks are going to send Konatsu to go and distract you somewhere else, pressure you till Kingdom Come, as you mentioned. But the Kingdom Come has a timer on it, and that is 1 minute and 35 seconds here when that dragon spawns. Because at Seoul, the Hawks have to fight this here. You cannot afford to give that over, or you're literally just at that point saying that we're not even going to try and fight you anymore. Literally, it's just the Konatsu split push show. And yeah, sure, Akali can split push, but can you really match the speed of a Jinx? I'm sorry. If you had maybe the Graves that we saw from last game with a Hull Breaker, maybe I could see that working, but Akali, not so much.
Yeah, no, it's like you're saying, that speed is going to be huge coming out from Sanctu, and there is probably no way that they can match that. And with that dragon coming up in 1 minute, the side of Hawks is running out of time to kind of come up with a plan of attack here, or I mean, just to come out on top. They don't even need to necessarily kind of kill them all. Just kind of find a way to ease some of the pressure that's coming out from AXIZ here. They are just such a daunting force. Everywhere you go, it's like, is there a Megumin Shadow Surge around the corner waiting? Is there a Dicey Zenith Blade waiting to just end your life? Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, for one, you need to get vision down, but for two, yeah, you just kind of have to try and avoid. They might have caught Swamp out here for the first time. There's no extra peel, but even the Crescent card is enough to disengage. We're talking, the circles from the Vex, from the Poppy, but Xin Zhao's got his own as well. That does, however, mean Smite is not present at the Dragon, and the Hawks, they're not even going to try and do this. They're fully committed to try and race them in the top side instead.
Okay, and I mean, you know what? That might just be the move, right? If you can't outfight them, you gotta outsmart them. That's what I'm always saying. So it's like, you're not gonna win that fight. So instead, look to trade objectives, right? They're just gonna go ahead and let Sangchu just shred down that dragon while they have Dasher in that top lane trying to take out this tier 2, get some extra gold for his team. And yeah, he's going to go ahead and get us a nice little 600 gold in his pocket. I do not believe objective bounties are up at the moment for them, so it's not going to be shared amongst the team. But that is going to be a lot of gold going into Dasher's pocket, which he desperately needs this time around if he wants to be a contender in this match.
Objective bounties, I think, proc around like 4,000 gold. So the gold difference is small enough right now. That the Hawks can't even get that little bit of extra help. It is, because all the power right now for AXIZ isn't necessarily in the gold. It's the way their composition functions. And it's even scarier because if you think about the fact that Yellow Yoshi is funneling gold and isn't taking very much of the gold, it means that 3,500 gold difference is actually a lot more when you consider that most of the gold is on Sangchu and Megumin here. So it's such a efficient use of their gold. And now Baron, Hawks are going to have to try and look into this. They don't have vision. You're talking about walking in blind. They've got to do it.
Indeed, yeah, they've got that blind for their Lee Sin cosplaying right now, and it's not going to work out for them. Dicey going to go down. Okay, and maybe it will work out for them. Going to try something here, but Kinatsu is getting incredibly low. Did get hit by the Shadow Surge. I don't think Megumin's going to go in on that one. He is! He's sending it, and it might just work out. Both of them going to go, but where will you go when it's over? To the grave, because you are done. Megumin will go down, unfortunately, to the Ignite coming up from Kinatsu, but just like that, it is a 2 for 2, and so AXIZ should be able to still pick up this Rift Herald, if not at least get another kill if the side of Hawks decides to try and pull up with a fight.
They have the smite. I mean, Swamp is still alive right here, but they're just not willing. Okay, they are going to, I was going to say they're not willing to risk it. Yes, they are. And Dasher does have the poke to try and stop. The Sangchu's kind of low. They now get vision. This is contestable by the Hawks.
Yeah, absolutely. This might just be that moment where we see a bit of a turnaround if they're able to play this thing right, but they need to get going now because look at Dicey. Dun, 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 dun. He's coming in, right? He's looking to get himself a nice Zenith Blade and a nice ultimate as well, but not quite going to find anything. A nice dredge line is going to connect though. Might just take out Yellow Yoshi. Going to grab that. Rhino will go down in return. Blank pretty low. Wind becomes light and did connect, but he's not going to dash to him. Dasher as well, so incredibly low. They are going to back off. Fortunately, won't be able to get that Baron buff, but they are able to show that they are not out for the count just yet.
Yeah, I don't know about that last one, Echo. It's looking pretty dicey with Baron buff on a Jinx here.
Stay hopeful.
True, if you're a fan of the Hawks right now, you got to do more than believe. You got to start praying real hard here because the Jinx is rushing in, blitzing in, taking turrets, and I feel like even those last series of fights was kind of just things working out really well from the Hawks. The fact that AXIZ, they were split on the Baron call, and Dicey honestly ended up way deeper than they expected to go, allowing for the instant burnout. And Megumin was kind of far away as well, didn't actually get the burst damage down, and all of that time was what allowed the Hawks to try and even find that turn. But the moment you saw AXIZ start getting together again, once Sangchu and Megumin were close enough to pump out the damage, it just became the AXIZ show.
Yeah, absolutely. AXIZ show indeed. They are just, I mean, they're almost sweeping the floor with them. They do have that Mountain Soul, so I mean, especially the likes of Yellow Yoshi, it's just so damn tanky. It is like you were saying before, right? It's just a barrier. It's just a brick wall that you gotta ram your head through, and that's gonna hurt, to say the least.
Echo, when I'm looking at AXIZ right now, I am just shocked at what they've managed to do. Because when we think back to AXIZ as well, before, I believe in 2019, they weren't really that good a team. And then, 2020, they kind of picked up a little bit, but 2021 was when they really shined with a bunch of rookies, no less. And it seems like they've managed to do it again. Yes, granted, these aren't rookies, but some of these guys are coming from the LCK Academy scene, which is sort of a cut below the Challenger scene as well. And they're looking incredibly good together.
Oh, yeah.
This might be the final push here. If Lena drops right there, that could have been game.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's looking like they might still try to maybe finish things here. Maybe try to just push a couple more turrets, get them low, get them down if possible. And yeah, I mean, some of these the Academy players, they're looking to graduate, man. They're hungry for more.
Yeah.
And honestly, it also makes you think, right? It's like the AXIZ, they pretty much they gutted their roster, right? between the off season before coming here, and they still look very good playing together. So it really kind of makes you wonder. They only have more and more time together. So how is they're just gonna improve, and it could get dangerous. Like this might just be a team that you gotta watch if they keep playing the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, and huge props to the coach as well. I think a lot of this did happen in the draft, the way we saw things coming through, you know, the double sort of denial picks with the Poppy and the Vex. And the scary part to me as well is that Yellow Yoshi caused a 33% ban rate of Poppy against Burning Core Academy. I think that number is going to go up now because even if the matchup is unfavorable for Yellow Yoshi, my goodness, I'm tripping over that name. Even if it's a bad matchup for the Poppy, you don't have to play the Poppy in lane anymore. We literally didn't even see him lane at all. He just roamed down right away. So you know what? That's a viable strategy, and teams playing against AXIZ have to be hyper aware of that.
Exactly. Speaking of a viable strategy, though, taking out Blank might be a very good step if they want to secure that Elder Dragon. And goodbye. He's been shredded. He is down, looking to take out Reina, but can't quite get him. However, Swamp and Yellow Yoshi, they are hot on Kinatsu's trail, and now they're going to take out Marbles as well. Goodbye. That's 2 gone. Looking to take out Kinatsu. Gonna go gold. But where will you go when it's gone? That's right into the ground because you're gone. They are going to pick up that kill on Yellow Yoshi, fallen hero. Then they're like, we don't even need Elder. We just need your Nexus, and they're looking to push it right now. Dasher and Reina gonna be the only 2 standing. They need to make the final stand here. Wind becomes lightning, does connect. Swamp looking to go in, not quite gonna find anything though. Might have bit off a bit more than he could chew, but that turret is gonna go down. We'll go gold, and there comes Seiju. So much damage, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, AXIZ will take this game. Oh my God, very nicely done.
Echo, Detonation Focus Me versus Rascal Jester might have been the match of the day on paper, but I'm calling it now. This was the real match of the day. Absolutely love to see it. It's
absolutely,
nuts.
absolutely. I will give you 100. You were right there, bro. Because oh my God, what did we just witness? Listen, man, I want to know if the coach was the one who decided, okay, we're gonna try this Poppy build, and I want to see like Yellow Yoshi's face when he told him that, okay, you're gonna go support item. You're not even gonna be on your lane once he's just sitting there like, what? Like what? And I mean, it worked out so well. Like it's like that quote, they cannot keep getting away with this, and Yellow Yoshi did. I mean, we kept saying, right, he's like 3 levels down, and he still just pops off. You're like, oh my God, that was something. I mean, listen, when I woke up this morning, I'm like, damn, it's 5 a.m., bro. We better get some crazy games, right? So that I can kind of wake up. And we did. But you know what? We'll talk about that shortly. We're going to throw it to a short break. And then when we're back, we'll be on the desk so that our boy Temporal can get a little bit of saying here and we can talk about this match. Don't go anywhere. Absolutely, man. Listen, I mean, me and Armsy both, right? Yeah, I'm at a loss for words, right? And casting is my job. Like that should tell you something already, right? But it's just like we see Yellow Yoshi, right? Just at the start of the game, Armsy's like, and even in the prod, they're kind of highlighting that he picks the support on, and we're all like, what is going on here, right? There is no way that he's being serious, right? And then we just see he's not even on top lane ever. And so it's like it's almost like this kind of mental thing where it's like, where is he, right? Where is he? He could be anywhere. He could be in the jungle. He could be in the bot lane setting up for a game. And it worked out so well. And it's so nice to see kind of like a different play, not your standard kind of autopiloting in the top. So it's great to see. It was an interesting, I always say interesting. I mean, it was a lot more than that, but it was an interesting match to say the least.
Please.
True.
Yeah, I think actually if you just remove the Poppy, the SoftBank Hawks actually looked really good across the board there. Kanatsu's flank positioning was immaculate. And I think the first two fights, I had hope for a second. I was like, oh, perfect Akali positioning, just got completely denied. But any other composition, and that probably would have popped off, absolutely shredded the back line. Marble, as you mentioned as well, in lane, did really well with Reyna there, didn't fall behind in CS, despite the fact that AXIZ had set up not just a tent, they bought the plot of land, built a set of condos there, and just completely moved in. 5-man sitting there the entire game, and Marble was still relevant, which was amazing to watch, and Dasher, least deaths on the team. Granted, you know, he still died, but continuing that idea of immortality here,
Yeah.
still really good at positioning himself in ways that he doesn't get burst out immediately.
Personally, I love to see it. SoftBank Hawks look a mechanically proficient team. We still had the Undying Dasher. Marble looked so good. And unfortunately, we're going to have to warp this around Poppy. Any champion that wasn't Poppy there, like Kanatu sprints this 1v5 straight in, and AXIZ have a real problem. We're going to loop it back around to the Poppy. I've got so many notes because it's a world first pick. I want to congratulate Yellow Yoshi again. This win was hard earned. We negated the Akali completely repeatedly. Kanadu got so much gold, but with the utility, we saw Zombie Ward out of Yellow Yoshi as well. So even though he doesn't have like Wardstone itemization, was just able to keep going further. When it comes to this gold economy, particularly, I want to talk about your take, RMC, on denying objective bounties. It just completely warped this game.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to point out that he did actually have the support item. So he did have wards coming out.
I mean the one where you stack all the red wards.
Oh, okay, yeah. He didn't even go. He didn't have to. That's the
Didn't
beauty.
have to. It's crazy.
That is the beauty and also the pain of playing against double supports, right? The fact that you can run, you have double ward items, so everybody can run sweepers if they want. You clear out all the vision there, and it showed in that game. We're talking about the fact that for SoftBank Hawks, they were going into fog of war half the time. They didn't know what they were walking into, and they had no choice. Any vision they had was getting cleared out, and with double supports, they can put down all the wards they want, and with double smite as well, they couldn't even contest any of the early objectives. If you kill the jungler, great. There's still Yellow Yoshi. You kill Yellow Yoshi, well, Swamp's still around. It was just so painful to watch, and economy-wise as well. Generally, with the sort of smite top meta, especially with the Janners, the Karmas, the Sorakas, part of the thing is you die in lane a lot because you're very gankable. You fall behind and then you give your team objective bounties. In this particular case, AXIZ was ahead by that point in the game in such a way that SoftBank Hawks didn't have objective bounties to give up, but because they were still supports and such low econ, they didn't have objective bounties to claim as well. So it's just such a rough position for the Hawks there. They couldn't play the game straight, and unfortunately they didn't have a way to sort of bend the rules of the game and play outside the box.
The gold economy completely destroyed in tatters, and a complete masterclass in Poppy top lane from a zero gold perspective. We're going to come back to you, Echo. I think you guys caught some of the games before this one. I saw you hanging out in Discord. This is the second Vex we've seen very quickly in the LJL, and this is the champion's sort of first competitive split. Did you see much in that game that was exciting or convinced you this Vex is going to stick around?
Are you? Is that even a question at this point, man? Megumin. Megumin, I mean, especially we saw when he was hitting those shadow surges, right? And the timing was so nice. We saw that he hits it on Kinatu, right? And Kinatu is like, he's running for his life. He's waiting for it. He's waiting for it. It's not coming. And then in the last split second possible, we just see Megumin flying across the mid lane and forces Kinatu to kind of pop his Zhonya's. And then it's like I always say in cast, where are you going to go when it's over? Into the ground, because that allowed the side of AXIZ to just kind of circle around Kinatu, nowhere for him to go. It takes him out. And just in general, Megumin on the Vex pick was hitting so many of these shadow surges, getting so much burst out, which just allowed, especially Sangchu as well, to just finish things off with this sustained damage that was coming out from the Jinx. So overall, I mean, it was a great performance, to say the least.
I really enjoyed it, and I think you're right. I think we're going to see more of this in the LJL. We're going to see more of these commanding Vex performances. It leans in so well to a bit of the defense and then being able to leap forwards that we see so commonly. And you've alluded to my next point here. Sangchu, on this Jinx, this is AXIZ's bread and butter. The way they came third in summer on that Jinx, it was Honey of the time, but it was Jinx every game. It drew bans. Honey had to fall back on Ziggs, a pocket pick, because Jinx was just AXIZ's way to play. Completely just take over the game, get a reset, play the team fights. And I'm so happy we saw Sangchu take this one and use it to beat around a team that we thought they had no chance against in dominating style. When it comes to the Jinx and the team fight compositions, RMC, if we're going to see Jinx bans being drawn, where do you want to see AXIZ go next?
To a certain degree, I will argue that AXIZ, or pardon me, the SoftBank HAWKS, this was a demise of their own crafting, because I don't actually think Sangchu's best champion is the Jinx. I think it's the Aphelios. But we saw the HAWKS take the Aphelios first, and I think that's why we saw Sangchu default to the Jinx instead. So I don't think it's as simple as just saying, okay, ban the Jinx. Granted, Jinx is extremely, incredibly strong in the current meta. She is ban-worthy, and I do think she's stronger than the Aphelios in a lot of situations. But if it does get banned, if it gets taken away by from Sangchu, I have very little doubt we'll just see the Aphelios pop right in. Sangchu's also shown a devastating Xayah, Ezreal, other scaling late game team fight champions, so it's very difficult to ban them out. I haven't seen a Ziggs yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sangchu knows how to play the Ziggs as well. And if you ban out everything else, if all else fails, even if Sangchu doesn't play it, AXIZ will probably teach him how to play it.
It looks like so. We're seeing complete roleplay from AXIZ. It's going to be the same sandwich, and it still tastes so good 6 months later. We're going to cut to a quick break after that dazzling victory from AXIZ, unsurprisingly, rather, in a huge surprise, taking down the SoftBank HAWKS in a dominating debut performance. After the break, we're coming back with an LJL grudge match. It's going to be Burning Core reinvented for this new season after a disappointing summer, up against the new all-Japanese previous Academy 4-man roster of V3 Gaming in the final match of the first day of the LJL Spring 2022. Go take a quick break, but not for too long. We'll be right back.